everybody. How you doing? Hello. It's a rare day, but we actually got the entire cast in one place that wasn't a recording day.
Wow.
But hey, what better way to kick off the first Q&A for Starlost Stormridden, our first Shanties. I tried to use more general knowledge for this because I was like, well, new people had just started watching Starlost for the first time for campaign 2. Which of course, if you guys don't know or are just popping in for the first time, you don't have to have seen a single episode of campaign 1 in order to enjoy campaign 2. It's all a fresh experience that we hope that you guys love, because we've really been loving this campaign so far. But I'm not the host today. I'm just the guy who talks first, just like Vane. I actually have to pass it off to the hostess with the mostess, as her layout says. Jess.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first Shanties of the new campaign. Yippee hooray! We took all your questions. Obviously, it says it, episode 1 through 15 is what we're going to be answering the questions for. So, I mean, if you're not caught up, there's going to be spoilers. Sorry. If you're not caught up to session 15, there are going to be spoilers. But hey, if you're part of the Ko-fi, then you've already gotten an episode ahead. So check out the Ko-fi if you want that. Yeah, let's not dilly-dally too much. Let's go.
No dillying, no dallying, only go.
So true. Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, well, maybe it is the first one. Maybe we should actually break down, like, hi, we play X character. We do this.
Oh my god, you're so right. Yes, everybody in here should do a little introduction, one by one. We'll go with... You know, I see the layout. How about we go backwards? Let's start with Pulse. Tell us a bit about yourself.
No. Like me or like Red?
Tell you who you are. Tell us who you are as part of the show. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, and then what you do in the show.
Gotcha. Yeah. I am Pulse. I do a lot of Pokemon speedrun video essays. I'm suffering a lot from allergies today, but I'm trying my best here. I'm the chaotic guy. I get people into weird things, fun.
Yeah. Pulse also plays Ritz epically.
There it is.
Pulse plays Ritz.
Weird old man.
I like that Pulse. We told Pulse to say what he does in the campaign, and he decided, fuck the characters. I'm just the dude who fucks shit up.
It's true though. He's not wrong though. Is the thing.
I respect it.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, Ray.
Hello, I'm Ray Newblick. I play the other wizard. Yeah, that's it. I play Renava. She's a mess.
So true.
Why?
Trauma.
Hey man, you don't know if it's trauma.
Ray's
just be like that.
It's always trauma in D&D.
That's funny. That's okay.
So true. All right, Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Bella on Starlost Stormridden. I am suffering from angst withdrawals playing this character, but I'm just having a good time.
I thought Kay was about to admit to something. I was like, really? Just live on camera? Is it withdrawals from what? I mean, congratulations, I guess.
I need everyone to hold me accountable.
You know what, guys, though? We're still early in the campaign. Angst could be coming soon anyway. Like, who knows?
It'll hit harder after months of deprivation.
It's true. Yeah.
Right, I shan't say what's on my mind.
Oh, okay. Okay. Crow.
I am Scarecrow Sketch, and I am the exact opposite of Kay in the withdrawals, as I am suffering from the fact that I have an edgy character, but I can't not be silly. It's so hard to play an angsty character when I myself just want to have a silly guy.
Silly guy.
I think it shows through.
Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
When he
I don't know how
looks,
you can
when
do
he
it,
looks
man.
like he wants everything dead, but I have him be silly.
Like,
He just
pull
likes
up the crochet that I did. How are you gonna look at that guy and say that he's not silly?
He's so silly.
He's so
Very
silly.
easily, very, very easily. I can very easily say that.
It's so intimidating, but he's so silly.
The horrors persist, yet I remain silly. So true.
He is the horrors, though.
Yeah, I know, but
And the
it's
silly
Yeah.
horror.
yes. Listen, born to be silly, forced to be dark and edgy. All right, Noah.
Hi, I'm Noah. I play Vayne in Starlost Stormridden. I would spell the name, but I want Cryo to stay in the call. So,
Yep. V-Y-N-E!
no!
Dies instantly.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
Skyrim ragdoll in the chair.
I play the ultimate silly guy. I don't have the horrors persist, but it doesn't matter. I forgot the horrors are there. I'm too busy being silly, goofy, and using the wrong accent half the time.
Yippee! So true.
Okay, you're getting better.
You
Yeah,
are
it's
getting
been pretty
better.
consistent.
You haven't slipped into Southern in like 3 sessions. It's really
True.
impressive.
Yeah.
It's been
Keep
longer
trying.
than that, I think.
You've
All
gone a
new
little British
record.
sometimes, but that's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I absolutely just jinxed it right
So
right
true,
now.
yeah.
Next session is gonna be all
Yeah.
the whole time. I'm gonna make a Southern NPC just to challenge you. That's
I
just
think that's
hanging out
actually
with
why
me.
Vayne and Bella haven't been in a lot of scenes together. I avoid Bella so that I don't pick up her accent.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Cryo.
Hi, I'm Cryo. I'm the GM. That's how I
Wow.
introduce myself at the beginning of every session, because that's all I got going on. No, I'm kidding. I'm Cryo. I am the GM of Starlost Stormridden, as well as several other one-shots and other things on the channel, so you'll see me in basically everything. I made the world of Starlost, and then I made the new world on the other hemisphere of Starlost. Because one globe map wasn't enough for me, I had to cut it in half and make a new one.
Yippee! Now it's double as long though, so pretty sick, pretty epic.
And then you.
Oh, me?
You're in the show. You
Oh,
have
you're
things
so
to say
right.
now.
You're so right. Hello, I am Jess. I am the host for this Shanties, but I also play Ethelon. If you are caught up with session 15, well, pretty crazy. But yeah,
Jess
if-
also plays Ethelon if you're not caught up.
Yeah, whether
Whether
caught
you're
up
here or
doesn't
not,
stop Jess
she's
from
at
playing.
yeah. Maybe that's why you've been slightly slipping into British a little bit because I have been introduced.
Here's the thing: as a person, I have a bad habit of picking up accents, and it's even worse with Vayne because I'm trying to push an accent that can fall very quickly into either one.
Right. Yeah. It's okay. That's how it is. That's how it be. Okay.
Stormridden map win soon enough.
Someday.
As soon as Cryo wants to.
So true.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know what half
I don't
the
know. They
map
have to
is.
discover more stuff in the new world before. I start
I was
putting
like, the
out
Stormridden
there.
map right now is this small versus the actual map that is like.
Yeah.
Big.
They don't know what's on
Okay.
the northern continent.
We've been to 3 places.
Yeah.
True.
That's enough for
Technically
a map.
4, but like 3 places.
Yet to explore, bruh.
You guys might actually get a cloud breach map before you get a whole.
I'd be so down for a
Far
cloud,
east
like an
map.
industrial revolution stylized like cloud breach map. That'd be dope. Like blueprints.
And- You know what? And guess what? That makes sense. Like, all things considered, like, of all the places we have been in Cloud Breach the most. So, it would make sense to get that map first, I think. Hey, let's jump into the questions. We're gonna start off with a nice and easy one, and this way we can also get it out of the way. First question from Lebel. People are telling me that apparently Noah said we could ask this question once, so I'm taking it. What's your favorite food?
New characters.
Yeah!
favorite foods. No, not yours, Kay.
Oh,
I mean, I
What's
think
the-
level.
what's your
level would
favorite
probably
food of
be
your
fine with
character?
that,
okay.
Like, what's your character's favorite food? I assume. Which is funny because I know the answer to 3 of them. I think.
Yeah, I can just tell mine. Renava's favorite food, she has 2. It's the fluffy bread in Westwood, in the Westwood, and her mother's porridge.
Mm. So true.
I already know mine right off the top of my head.
Me.
Earl Grey tea cakes is Celix
With vanilla frosting on top.
with vanilla frosting. Oh wow, you remember that? I
course.
forgot about that. Yeah, specifically Earl Grey tea cakes with vanilla frosting is his favorite food of all time.
Mm-hmm. Pulse, if you don't remember the answer, I remember your answer.
You please.
I do. I do. Ritz's favorite was taco soup.
Alright.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
don't
real.
remember that at all.
I do. Bella
Okay.
V-A-Y-N.
Bella's thinking.
Oh God. Oh.
How is it
No, you
not
got
lemon
nothing.
bars?
It's
They're
not.
great.
That's cool.
How?
No, you got anything?
Alcohol.
That's
Yo.
not
So
food.
that's
Vane's a big fan of tequila.
So
That's not food.
again, not a food.
Okay, fine. Chicken.
You know what?
What chicken?
Yeah,
Social
fried,
alcohol.
chicken.
baked,
Wow.
Any chicken. I
grilled.
got nothing. I got nothing,
Pick-
bro.
Pick one, motherfucker.
It's like being like meat.
What's your favorite food? Fish.
Yeah.
I am
Food.
voluntelling you. It's octopus. Taco.
Taco.
That's not
Taco.
chicken.
Taco.
Is the
Taco.
thing. It's not a preparing of chicken.
Not with that attitude.
Vane loves corn.
Spilled corn. That was a jump scare.
You know what? I'm
spilled
gonna go with Ray's. Yeah, it'll be octopus.
Okay.
Oh my
There
god.
you go.
corn.
Taco. Nobody else. Only we get this reference. Taco.
Taco.
Yo,
Vane
both Ritz
loves
and
sushi.
both Ritz and Vane like taco.
Vane loves sushi. We have yet to see Vane eat sushi in campaign. Cryo, we need to go to a sushi place. Does sushi exist in Star
The
Wars?
only place you guys go to eat is Nearly's, and he does not serve fish most of the time.
That's why Vane doesn't have a favorite food.
And only like 2 of us eat most of the time.
Like, that's why Vane doesn't have a favorite food. He
This
goes there
party
and
is
drinks.
defined by you guys being like, yeah, we don't really sleep and we don't really eat.
That's
And
why,
then
again, that's why I said tequila.
I sleep and eat enough for the rest of us.
That's fair.
I guess I would say. Oh, I mean, it's not like. So Bella's favorite thing, like, it's so hard because obviously it's gonna be something like Southern themed. It's not really a specific food, but Adrena's barbecue, like, fucking tear through that shit. If I had to pick a
Banger.
specific
Banger.
thing, though, are you? Hold on, Cryo, go while I pin one down.
Answer for one of your NPCs. Which
I
one?
feel like it's got to be Lance for.
Mephi.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. I'm like I can answer for Lance. His favorite food is a steak, medium rare, with a hunk of butter on top. He's
Correct.
very basic boy.
He's bulking.
It's
Uh,
a good choice.
Mephi likes pulled pork.
Aw.
Oh.
I don't know why you were like, I'll answer for Lance. I was like, I know what they're gonna say. For some reason, my brain was just celery. There's no
Celery,
reason.
Lance just eats a stick.
Yeah,
of
he's just likes
I
to eat
would-
celery.
The only
seems-
way I would make a character's favorite food celery is if I hated them, because I hate celery. 'Cause I-
Well,
What
even,
about like ants on a log?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Ants on a
That's true.
log.
Ants on a log.
I don't know what that is.
Ants on a log is
Oh.
celery with peanut butter and raisins.
And
And
then
raisins.
raisins on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe you would ruin something like peanut butter by
With
mixing it with celery.
raisins.
Oh, deep.
Cryo just
Just
hit us
we
with
were
like far ends of celery.
with
on
some
the raisins.
funny ass shit the other
Salad.
day.
Oh,
To where Cryo straight up said Lance's favorite thing is creatine.
Oh, yes. So,
Oh.
somebody said that Lance was very silly, and I'm like, yeah, he's on that silly juice and creatine.
Karina asks for William Black's favorite food, and Marcy asks for Eckert's favorite food.
Oh, William Black's favorite food is tea biscuits, like the little cookies that you have with tea. Because he can just eat them without thinking. So he just like as he works, he just puts them in his mouth and like doesn't
Do
think.
not show this guy potato chips, bro.
Do not show modern food to William Black. He will. He's absolutely an absent-minded eater while he sits there. And
I
doesn't
know
know
what
anything.
I'm gonna do when we see him again.
Oh no!
It's like showing a Victorian
When we
child
see him
like
again,
Dr. Pepper.
Invent potato chips.
Eckert, as far as Eckert goes, it's got to be something really. It's like a spiced rum cake that like you set the chocolate on fire on top. Some really extravagant thing.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking like foie gras caviar. I'm like, it's got to be something like bougie as hell.
I really thought that Cryo was gonna say William Black's favorite was just like black coffee. Like just
That's
like,
real.
the man
You know
doesn't
what?
eat. He wakes
That's
up.
a drink. That's a drink. It's not food.
Yeah, but he doesn't sleep. He doesn't go home. Do you really think he eats?
Yeah, absent-mindedly while he works.
Apparently, Tucker's favorite food is honey scones.
Honey
That's cute.
scones. Anyone
like
wondering why Ian is in chat, not here? It's because there are plans for more of the guest characters to answer questions in later shanties. So you might want to pull
Yes.
up to the next one.
I have offered to host. That's why I'm here.
It's true.
Oh, Kay, are you ready?
I figured
Is
it out.
Bella-
Yeah,
All right.
it's a chicken fried steak.
Oh, so valid.
All right.
With white gravy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's-
Man,
The
I'm
mashed
dieting
potatoes.
right now, and you're reminding me of all the like horrible foods that I want.
The like mashed potatoes where there's like little bits of skin in it.
Yes. That's good mash. Yeah. The red potatoes. Yeah, hell yeah. That's good stuff. I like that. All right. Thank you for the answers. Next one, getting just slightly heavier for more conversation. Queen Cat asks, "What do you think your Stormridden character?" Oh, okay.
Goodbye, Kay.
My browser just crashed. Sorry.
Oh,
We successfully killed Kay Meister. Bella is no longer in the series. We didn't mean to, but it happened.
no, that's not okay.
That's okay.
No. Queen Cat asks, "What do you think your Stormridden character and C's character would think of each other, and who do you think would win if they were the same level?"
I mean, what beats a level 20 wizard?
If they were the same. level.
Lotus would. Lotus
Lotus would be
literally
the-
would. Her every reaction she can counter your spells because she took that feat. It's a homebrew feat that Cryo made.
That's assuming they're within melee.
No,
no,
if you're
it's
targeted,
just
if
targeted.
you're within melee or if you get targeted, then spell parry works.
And she
Jesus
has,
Christ, spell parry is broken.
That's really
And-
broken.
she's a monk, so she has evasion. So, you just have to get her with con saves or charisma saves. But even then, I can re-roll with key points. Lotus is broken. Holy,
I
I
was gonna
miss
say
Lotus.
spell parry
Aw.
plus Lotus is actually dude, that hands down. I'm like, Cryo, go rewrite spell parry. Actually,
Anyway, so Lotus would win against Renava. Probably with some difficulty because Renava's really fucking strong. But Renava would love Lotus. She's so creature.
Aw. She's so creature. I love that.
She's absolutely.
She would
creature.
Renava would just be like, "You are adorable. You have wings. You're like part bird. What are you? You have so much to say. You just continue yapping, and it just.
Yup.
Yeah, I have
Yop.
a lot to say. It's like it's great. I love it.
It's yapping with an umlaut on top, yapping.
Yop.
Yup.
But yeah, that's my answer.
All right.
Amazing.
Vane and Selleck would not get along, or Vane and Socks would not get along. Vane would make Socks extremely uncomfortable, and Socks would make Vane probably also uncomfortable. Just because Vane is the way he is, and Socks would try to study Vane, and he ain't about that. Hickory, Doc, and Vane though, they'd probably all get along. I genuinely think 1-to-1, Vane would probably beat all of them. It's really tough because like if I think about where Tethier is going, it gets very scary for something to like. Hickory would probably be the easiest to beat, actually, despite her usually being the hardest.
Okay, but I raise you. Hickory has time stop, and she also has divine intervention.
That's true, but I don't think Tethers care if time is stopped.
Yeah, he tethers her.
That's
She can time
fair.
stop and beat the shit out of him. She just dies.
But couldn't she divine intervention not be affected by tether at all?
True. So if divine intervention went off and like made her immune to the tether effects for the
That's a
fight,
different-
then
Yeah, it's
that's
just
like
how.
that's real risk.
Yeah.
I was like, that's also just like the wish standard of just I wish I win. So like, Hickory would probably be the easiest to beat. Doc would actually probably be one of the toughest because he's pretty good at building temp HP, and I've never really thought of like a level 20 Socks, so I don't actually really know.
F.
So it's really funny that that question was asked because it's like, oh, what would your characters think about each other? It's already revealed. My character has met my other character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took his class.
Yeah.
What did he think of each other?
Yeah. So what did Selleck think of Hush as a teacher?
Yeah.
There's two sides of this. There's like Hush as a like what would you think of Hush as a teacher versus what would you think of like Hush, like OG Hush, because like they're two very different characters. Selleck really liked Hush as a teacher. Hush is just fun and brings a lot of like liveliness to and like things you never expect with things you never expect to see in another college. OG Hush, Selleck would probably not like. I think OG Hush was a yapper, and like she was just in the head, and Selleck is very much like I'd prefer to be left alone.
Bad news for you, Kay.
That was a yapper. Hey, what am I learning right now?
but Bella is like to everyone. This is just in Selleck's head. Like it's not even like
That's a little different.
yeah.
Fair.
And between Hush and Selleck, like level 20 Hush, level 20 Selleck. Funny, I do have like a level 20 Selleck plan, but everything, things change. It's really funny because both of them are backline. Do not get close to me. I will cry if you get close to me. They can both. Selleck is more built towards, I would say, damage. He can probably outpace Hush pretty. Actually, Hush has the ability to fire a lot of Eldritch Blasts. But Selleck's would do a lot more. But the one thing I think why Hush would win is because Hush got ads. Well, Hush is over here. Petrie is up just beating the hell out of Selleck. And
You want
Selleck's
what he's having?
No,
That's
get away.
crazy imagery.
Yeah,
This
get away.
is
No.
really funny.
They're like, Selleck can't do anything there because it's like, oh, I have to deal with him all the way over there. And I mean,
I have a
Selleck,
giant Hulk-sized frog beating the shit
Yeah.
out of me.
and though there's like the idea of like there's the idea of Constitution saves so that Hush has to deal with all of the Eldritch Blasts that are coming out of him. There's a possibility that it goes down. Hush just brings him back. Bonus action brings him back. Quicken Spell, then Eldritch Blast back out. I think because Selleck is not built for face-to-face combat, and there's more allies on the field for that reason, I think Hush would beat Selleck. And Hush isn't even built for damage. It's just battle placement, and that's just... It's funny, I built Hush for specifically battle placement and board control, and that's the thing that Selleck is horrible at.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I can go through a long list of all of the ways in which Dolus wins this fight. First, Dolus can fly. Bella cannot. Dolus just flies 30 feet up and just rains down Eldritch Blasts. What is Bella gonna do? Nothing.
Throw a very big rock.
Yeah.
Because you also have to assume peak power Bella.
Yeah. Like, even peak power Bella, like, it's just like she's not gonna learn to fly. Like,
But she could jump real high.
Listen, as somebody who has played as a level 20 barbarian, Emma, if any of those motherfuckers are flying, I'm useless. Okay? There's nothing I can do.
But like, even if it was like a just on the ground fight, like, assuming as well Dolus, and the last way that I played him with the more broken builds of like Eldritch Slash and stuff, like, Dolus is scary. Dolus is like one of the characters who are like up with, I think it's Dolus and Cryo, I forget the name of your character in that. Yeah, tied for the most damage done in a single attack in the world of Starloss.
Yeah, in the world of well, actually, because we redid the math, remember? Because I found Litha. Dolus beat me by like 13 or something.
Yeah.
So we both have, in one single attack, we've both hit over 100, and you have the record for most damage in one go ever in Starlost in single target attack.
So
in AoE, Annie has the record because you hit a crowd of like 70 people.
And it's so that's Dolus going hand to hand, like melee combat, fucking just destroys. And even if he's like doing like staying away and casting spells, like he has like wish, and like, so even not even like wishing to beat the fight, like he throws down a dark star centered on Bella. What the fuck is she gonna do?
Same.
You know, like,
Dark star.
Same, I guess it's just like, or like a gravity fissure or whatever that spell is called, like, or like it's crazy. Like Dolus is terrifying. However, Dolus would never fight Bella. I think beginning of campaign Dolus would think she's really annoying. By the end and like post campaign, Dolus he finds her really endearing, like her view of the world and like her love of
the world.
Just life. Yeah, the world and life. He sees Dolus is the kind of person who, in like, you know, after the campaign, is like just happy to see people able to live and like not live in fear of the end of the world coming.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Sorry, I just gotta acknowledge, why the fuck am I being targeted? Congratulations on your homemade jalapeno poppers, but what?
Yeah, no.
Someone in chat called Noah out to be jealous.
I bet you wish you had homemade jalapeno poppers right now.
Dang.
That's what you get, pussy.
I also love it. Hush and
Give her
Vayne
being
are
on a
similar
diet.
in the sense of just being silly little guys, and Selleck likes Vayne. Selleck puts up with Vayne.
Selleck puts up with Vayne, yeah. Pulse, how about you? Your characters, who would win? Would they like each other?
I'm extremely confident in a level 20 wizard, honestly. Like, I don't think it's even a contest between all three of mine. I will say though, I think Mara would hate Fritz. Oh my god. Oh my god. They would not get along in any way. I think Annie and Ritz though would be like intrigued of each other in so many
God.
ways. That would be like an interesting. Just put them in a room together.
That's so funny.
Oh wait, Ritz plus pre-emotions Annie.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
that's
that is-
so funny.
That is a room I'm not going in.
That's a room that we're nailing boards on the door of. So
Well, I
they
was about to
don't
say,
ever
I think just in general, like really thinking about it, I don't want any of Pulse's characters in the same room. like this, like one is already like considered like a terrorist organization. But if you put two of them together, holy shit, guys, shut down the city. We're done.
Okay,
I hate
but
to break it to you.
but I feel like Mara having deep conversations with Mara would fuck. Like that sounds
Oh,
like
you
a
know.
good time.
Yeah.
I love that Mara,
True.
by the end of his run, was known as like deep conversations. He's great to bounce ideas off of. The first deep conversation he has is, "Your problems are way worse than you think they are."
Right, but
Way bigger
your
than you
character
think.
isn't
I
defined
love
by
that so
one
much.
action.
I know, it's just so funny for anyone who like watches this and then goes back and watches campaign 1. They're like, "Wow, Mara must be this deep, wise person." Gets to Mara.
I believe that is everybody.
Amazing. Yeah, that is everybody. Fantastic.
Unless Cryo, you want to
Um,
hit two
yeah.
NPCs.
Yeah.
There's so many. I don't know who I would hit. And
I see
and
William Black and Archibald being the most.
someone wants. Oh, I mean, Archibald's can cast higher than 9th and go crazy strong, but it takes time to get there.
Mhm.
But also, William Black doesn't like fighting. So it just becomes a, does Archibald get to 9th level spells before William Black
Ooh.
locks in?
Oh, I have a really good one.
Yeah.
No
Hmm.
spoilers because we don't know anything about him yet. But Nash versus Delilah.
Nash versus Delilah. Ooh. Oh,
We don't know anything about Nash besides the fact that he's scary motherfucker. And
Yeah.
we know Delilah is scary motherfucker.
if Delilah can't have any backup from her simulacrum, then it is a matter of if she can burst Nash down before certain things happen.
I don't like that. I don't like what you just said.
Interesting.
Which she has an ability, if you go on Kofi and look at her character sheet, she has an ability where once a day she can just pick a spell to automatically do max damage. So I think it's a real, no pun intended, I think it's a real roll of the dice on who would win that one, actually.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
That's
Any
also
two
scary.
NPCs? All right, I got it. Petrie and Willie.
All right, so moving on to the next question.
No. Cryo answer. How
Who
would
the
they
fuck is
go?
Willie?
Willie.
This is my reputation. precedes
Oh.
me.
The Chosen.
Yeah.
How would
Willie,
those two
obviously.
interact?
No way.
If all of Delilah pulled up, Nash would be gone. If all of Delilah pulled up, anyone would be gone.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think there's anyone who can survive disintegrate coming at you from 13 different directions at
No.
once.
Yeah.
I could.
I'm built
I'd
different.
Nah, I'd win.
Oh, I'd so win.
Let's do a couple of short ones. From Queenie for Kay, does Bella have any siblings?
No,
No. Okay.
not yet, at least.
I am.
Yeah,
True. Anything could happen. You know what? This is a fun one.
Bro, that'd be
too.
kind of crazy to be 30 years apart from your sibling.
Well, when you
Yeah, that's kind of
hundreds.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
when
fair.
there are races that live to be in the thousands,
you know,
like that's
yeah.
not that crazy.
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking in the
That's-
human scale. My bad.
In human scale, that is crazy. Yeah. From Ewok, with all the special frogs we know, Frogillion, Petrie, and Broth, which is the favorite and why?
I hate all of them.
I know my answer.
I know my answer.
I feel like
Yeah.
Petrie's had more screen time.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, is it really?
And he wasn't even
competition
allowed on the
yet?
ship.
No, I think
I
it's
love
broth.
Petrie.
I love broth sheerly for the bit
Oh.
of we're gonna kill broth. Like we're
I
gonna
love
roll
that
for
Petrie.
broth to die.
I was gonna say easiest question of my life is easiest part of this is that broth it loses immediately. I fucking hate broth. It's so fucking
I love
gross.
broth.
Petrie's the only one that's weirdly enough had character development.
That's not true. For
Well,
Gillian was.
Gillian.
Gillian is
Oh.
Gillian is Gillian. Gillian had
Yeah.
character development.
He had character development. This weird my choice is Petrie.
Of course it is.
Fair. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
guess I choose
Frog Gillian
Petrie.
or Broth.
I only like broth for the fact that we rolled to kill him.
I like Frog Gillian because I like thinking about how I not accidentally, but unknowingly tortured him many times.
Left
because
him
he
in a
was
room
Alina's
for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I really like just the so Cryo like surprised me with broth because like I didn't go to them for like anything, and all of a sudden like the broth talks to me and like just evil son of a bitch, like oh my god. I just
Pulse-
played along with it.
It says someone in session 1 asks Pulse like, "Oh, does your familiar talk?" And Pulse was like, "I don't know." And then Pulse DMs me and is like, "Does Broth talk?" And I was like, "Let me think about it." And then later in like that session
Oh,
or the next
shit.
one, I was just like, "Yeah, Broth talks, but only to you."
Prometheus 489. Thank you so much.
Nope.
Wow.
Jess, you do
Thank
it. You're
for the
host.
$10. Yeah, man. I was gonna say I'm the one who streams on YouTube. Prometheus, thank you for the $10 tip, $10 super chat. Appreciate you.
And the dog.
Yippee!
Thank you. Is that our first super chat?
I don't think so. I think some happened during Seeds of Dawn.
Oh.
Mm.
But we don't ever
Wow.
talk about the fact that donations are open on YouTube.
I don't ever read the chat.
We just tell them to go to Kofi instead.
I like broth because the fucking what's that word where it's like the buildup of who and just who is your favorite of them all. It's like that was so good. That
the-
fucking killed me. Ugh. But Petrie is also really fun. Like Petrie is super close. I loved the conversation between Petrie and Hush of just you're not my friend, you're my comrade. I think about that sometimes. Banger.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Has anybody
How can you
else
ask
not-
me to pick a frog? They're all so
Oh.
good.
Yeah, but two of them
Recency
are from
bias makes
campaign
me-
1, and we don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say recency bias makes me want to pick Broth just because he's so silly. But Petrie, that
So
conversation that Ray just cited with Petrie was so good,
Mm.
and it was so good to see Petrie develop and help Hush develop that I think I've got to give it to that.
Mhm.
I really thought it would be Frogillian, but I think about it and I'm like, nah, he's gonna have to take third here. Gillian is great as a
Third!
character, but him being a frog didn't elevate it really that much.
Mhm. That's
Other than
fair.
Kay torturing him absentmindedly. It was so funny knowing that that was Gillian the whole time. Every time you guys talked about the frog and messing with the frog, I'm like, Gillian's just sitting there screaming in his head.
Didn't he get
Tapping
left
on my
in the
glass
other?
like he's at an aquarium.
Didn't he get
So
left in New
actually-
York for like weeks?
It was like a few hours.
Yeah.
Like to us, it was like 10 seconds. But like, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do an experiment. I'll use the
guy.
frog.
What do you got, Ray?
Question. So
Mhm.
if Hush ever used detect thoughts on the frog, what would have happened?
Anger. So much anger. That's it.
Yeah.
Gillian was,
That's it?
Gillian was thriving off of pure rage that whole time. Like he was
Also-
genuinely just like he was like, fuck these people, fuck Martin, fuck my life. I have to live long enough for them to square up against Martin so I can kill him. That's it. That's all I'm here for.
Also,
He was
you
so
gotta think-
content the moment he got spoiler for campaign 1. He was so content the moment he got squished. Like he laser beamed Martin and then he was like, that's it. I've done all I need to do. And then he died. And that was it.
You gotta think also when I talk about absentmindedly torturing this guy. Wait, what's going on? What's everyone surprised for?
Thank you, Blue Bandit, for the $20 super chat.
Oh my
I
god!
think I'll
Thank
be
you.
outdone. Thanks.
He was Alina's pet frog. So he would spend his time in Dolos and Alina's room, and you can fill in the blanks from there.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no!
Hey, let's move on to the next question.
Um.
I'm sorry, the little giggle before.
adding on to that one, because Cowdy replied to that one, and said, what was said above, but with the other players' familiars, you can't say your own because it's too easy. So, which is your favorite of the familiars?
Oh,
Zerby.
why do you have to do this to me?
It's Zerby.
I say Zerby, dude. Like you're not asking me, but I'm saying Zerby.
I can say Aldrich. I'm choosing to ignore campaign 1 here. I'm choosing between because we gotta hit campaign 2 eventually.
The trio.
The trio of sillies. They are all silly. They're all very silly in their own right.
I'm gonna be the contrarian and say Rook. I like that he causes problems.
I like Rook a lot.
Rook
too.
causes
I love
problems
them all.
on purpose.
If I
I've had
couldn't
more
pick,
interactions with Rook, so I'm like, yeah, fuck that little guy. I like him.
yeah. If I was allowed to pick Rook, I would pick Rook, but I'm not allowed to pick Rook, so I'm picking Zerby.
Zerby's just so good.
I love Rook's chaos though. He's so funny.
As the person who is all 3 of them, Zervy's such a cute little guy, and if I could have any of them as my familiar, I'd go with Zervy. But as characters, I do love intentionally causing problems as Rook. It's so fun. I get why Pulse does it now.
Prometheus, again, thank you for the $5
Guys!
super chat.
They're competing with each other. They're competing.
Did everyone answer? I can't remember.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes. Okay.
Ray.
I also saw it in the.
Wait, Ray
is
didn't
thinking.
answer.
Oh, Ray's
Ray's
saying, oh yeah,
thinking.
Ray's stuck on how great Zerby is.
Yeah, Zerby's just so great.
It's Rook versus
Ah.
Broth now.
Yeah.
I feel like I like Rook more. I think that's just because he has had more character and on-screen time than Broth. Like Broth's really funny, but Broth so far has just been a bit.
Yeah.
Come on,
So-
who's your favorite? Who's the best?
Aldrich.
Bart
Just-
Simpson grab.
just- Between the two of us, me or Broth? Broth.
Ooh.
Pick again.
Heck yeah. I saw it. I'm gonna answer it very quickly. Where somebody asked me Lonnie versus one of my one-shot characters. I
was gonna say you can't say a lot about Lonnie
can't-
right now.
I can't
say that you're gonna
I
answer
love-
really
yeah.
quickly
I'm gonna
and
answer
then
really
stare
quickly.
at
I
the
was like, 'cause
sky.
I was gonna say something and then I'm like, wait, no, I can't say that. But I do think it's Lonnie. Like of both of my one-shot characters, it's Lonnie. I'll just say that.
Fucking dial-up noise started.
I was gonna say something and then I was like, wait, no, I can't
I'm
say
just gonna
that.
answer this
Say
real
real
quick.
quick.
Immediately remembers what
Sorry.
episode we're on.
Yeah. Yeah, you have one episode of development.
Yeah. This is just to let Noah and Cryo
Duke it out.
ramble for a little bit.
Oh.
From Lebel, first question of campaign 2 being asked, at least I think. So Cryo and Noah, what can you tell us about this Teviary class that Noah seems to be playing? And they asked right as they finished episode 1. So obviously more has happened, but whatever you can say about it, feel free.
Play balancing a whole class is actually really hard.
Yeah, it's basically the experience of working together on. It is a 2 heads versus 1. There are a lot of times to where even during sessions, I will DM Cryo and say that I might be too broken. it's been a lot of actually like these things need some tweaks. They need a little bit of bump here and there just to make it. And a lot of times it's wording. It's really tough to get the wording right to where it's like, I have to ask Cryo questions. So that means that we need to explain the wording more thoroughly in the official documentation to get it a good yes.
Actually, just to cut in for a moment as well, I'm going to combine this with another question from Lily, where Lily said, what was the process or thought behind building a new class for Noah to play, and have there been any things that have needed to change for balance sake once you started actually playing? So you can toss that in there as well.
I decided to make a new class. It's funny because I decided to make a new class like during the Yubawa arc of campaign 1, and I started kind of building Tetheri ideas, and I showed it to everyone. And immediately everyone was like, this is going to be my class for campaign. There was a point early on before anyone had made their characters where every single one of you was like, I'm going to be a Tetheri in campaign 2.
I am guinea pig.
Yeah,
I thought I was the one that like was just like, I'm going to give you some notes on this one.
Yeah. I think Crow's like the one who wasn't like, I want to try this class. It was like, I think I'll like, what if you changed this?
It was
I
Cryo's
love
idea
the
to make a new
mechanics
class.
of building a class.
I built Runava initially to be, I mean, you guys can definitely fucking tell, a shadow sorcerer. And then Crow came to me with Teddier, like, Teddier, mine. So, and then Noah really wanted to be a Teddier, so I was like, I will relinquish this to you. And but Runava can still work as a Teddier, I will say. Like, her backstory and all of the things, easy class swap.
They could have been. Listen, there are other subclasses. You could have been the other ones.
You picked the exact one that Runava.
You could have told me that, and we would have changed.
It's fine because it as well. Like, I know a lot of us wanted to be Shadow Kai as well. So I was like, because I'm already like the one who like claimed this race, I'm not gonna claim another one that like so many people wanted. So
That's fair.
I don't want to be selfish.
But yeah, the actual process is, I mean, it's a lot of trust, actually. Cryo has to trust me not to absolutely fuck up Tetheri or to use it like in a way that is like just to use it in a way that isn't any fun. And I have to trust Cryo that they will make the changes necessary we've already had a couple of modifications to Tetheri, a lot in wording and like recharge for tethers and like what makes a spark versus what makes a tether. And there's been a lot there.
I think the biggest issue we've had so far is that Noah, God, I love him, but Noah really has a way he wants to play his characters when he makes them, and Vane is very roguish, like very like, I want to do sneaky stuff and I want to do this stuff and I want to get in with a quick stab or this or that. And Tetheri foundationally is very not that. And then the subclass that you picked, Noah, is very much like, it's good for supporting casters, but it also makes you squishier and makes you a caster. So it led to this juxtaposition where Noah's like, Cryo, I can't do these things I want to do. And I'm like, because that's not what you're playing. And Noah's like, but can it be what I'm playing? And I'm like, here are item recommendations that will even out this experience for you.
What's really funny is like, I think we found a very quick happy medium. It was a lot of adjustment period in the first episodes of just like figuring out what it actually felt like to play Tetheri. Because on paper versus actually in combat, two completely different worlds. And so after like the first, I would even say the second combat, I very quickly got a vibe of how to manage Tetheri. And I think it really comes across in an episode that has yet to come out, but will soon, of me doing my best to manage resources, which is a lot of what Tetheri is.
Yeah. But yeah, so new class was my idea. I decided, as I frequently do, to just jump right into the deep end of something I've never done before. And you all
Yeah.
get to appreciate the chaotic end result because now it's on YouTube forever.
I think
Amazing.
all in all, it's been pretty clean. Like you didn't want me to get close, and I stopped going close, and so now we're in a happy medium.
Happy medium.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, two people asked this one. First of all, I got pinged. We have a lovely message from Marcy. Marcy says, "Hello, cast. It is I. Firstly, please know with all of my heart, I am still in the adventure of finding an NPC to fall in love and obsess with. You guys have made it insanely hard to root for just one character, and it's a testament to how well Stormridden is written." And Marcy has 3 questions, but the first question aligns with something that Gil asked. Gil asks what inspired you to make your characters for Campaign 2. Marcy's wording of it is, without spoilers or anything, what forms of media have inspired the character creation of the Stormridden party, character design-wise and lore-wise? Did it start off as just playing around with character sheets, or were your characters just conceptualized because character creation fun? And this question's funny because a lot of Stormridden has been a lot of these characters have been around for a long time.
I was gonna say, do we actually want to? I think it would be most fun if we revealed the order in which they were created and just have them answer from there.
Yes, I think that would be fun.
So
And that means
I would say oldest would go to Bella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kay has
oldest
to
is
answer
Bella.
first because Bella was the first.
So how
Stormridden
long
character.
ago was Bella born?
Oh God.
Like 2 years now.
it's been 2 something. It's got to be over 2
Something
years.
like that. Oh God. If it's something like that, but it's a long time ago. At least a couple years.
Above table, the whole reason Lord Drenus in Campaign 1 exists is because Kay came up with Bella. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that was the first time Campaign 2 influenced Campaign 1.
Yeah. I just, in terms of what inspired, yeah, I think it was around summer of 2022. So coming on 3 years now.
Mhm.
I just, yeah, summer 2022 was 3 years ago. That's crazy.
Stop saying it.
No,
Wait,
keep saying
summer
this.
of 2022 was when you came up with Bella?
Yeah, 2022
Then Ritz
summer.
is the oldest.
Oh.
Because
Oh,
Ritz
yeah,
was
'cause Ritz
2022
is-
spring.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
Ritz
know.
is, Ritz is
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah, but does it
We
count
have the
because
exact
Ritz is
date.
Ritz is 3 different Ritzes.
Yeah, Ritz is like a
True.
billion characters.
But no, continue.
It's just, I don't know. I think it was just, I learned about furbolgs, and like, well, specifically like furbolgs in how they're portrayed in like Critical Role, and then from media onwards is these like cow people, and I was just like, that's such a good, like, that's such a good concept. I want to make a character who is of this design, and I want her to be hot. I want her to be hot and buff, and that was my inspiration for Bella. Like, I was like, before I had thought of personality or anything, I was just like, I want to make a hot furbolg, and then I remember, like, I was looking through messages, like, I was like, oh man, I don't think there are furbolgs in Starlost. We haven't encountered any, or like shit. Like, I messaged Ray, and then I was just like, in terms of personality and actually thinking of Bella and things like inspired her as a character, nothing really. I don't think there's any media that's really like super inspired her as a character. Like, there's some things that I'm like taking influence from now that I am playing her, but like the only thing that really inspired Bella as a character was wanting to do something as different as I could from Dolus. Like where I was just like, I want to do something on the complete other end of the spectrum to challenge myself and to like, you know, because I know not only from playing as Dolus, but then also like in DMing and like playing other characters in one shots, I know I can play an angsty character. But like I just like I want to just, you know, go in and just let the world affect my character and just be this open slate to just sort of accept everything that's coming my way. And that was really the only inspiration.
All right.
Sorry,
Well,
super long answer for a really
no,
simple
that's
question.
okay. That's all right. I assumed this was gonna be a long answer one because everybody has, again, these characters are all pretty dang old. Well, we were going in order of oldest, and I think we've determined the new order that is in Pulse.
Well, we already skipped it, so see you later, Pulse. You know, we'll get to talk about Ritz next time.
Ritz being created on Monday, March 21st, 2022 at 3:18 a.m.
What was the
We have that
conversation? Like, do we remember at all?
You
I
was
know
that
we
the
were
same
fucking around.
conversation where you came up with Gith Ethron?
Zac
Githron?
Zac
Zac
Githron was
Githron.
after
After Ritz?
So
after Ritz. Yeah.
I know exactly how that happened.
There we go.
It was because we were looking over languages, and you're like, I could take Gith. And I was like, oh my god, Gith. And you're like, what is a Gith? And you looked into it, and you're like, look at this Voldemort looking thing. And we had a whole conversation over this, and then it developed into like Ritz, in which you wanted to name him something different.
But we couldn't.
We couldn't name him that.
Yeah.
You wanted to
kind
name
of-
him. It's a food. He wanted
It's
to
a
name
food.
him like a cracker,
Oh.
but
Oh my
like the
god.
food.
Because
but
in tandem with the, well, you know what? It was mentioned in episode 1, right? Because soup has been mentioned. So soup was made first, and then Ritz came in tandem. It was gonna be like soup and crackers, but we can't.
opposite. Ritz came first,
Oh, was
and
it
then I
Ritz
was like,
first?
"What if
Okay.
he had a little guy like standing next to him?"
No,
Would just-
soup.
It's
Oh,
like you
because
already
we
got
thought of the
Ritz.
name
Let's go with
after, I
Ritz.
think. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, let's go with crackers, soup.
It was
It was a weird creation, just like on the spot. I was just like, Jess, give me
was
some like fucking Gith that like resembles Voldemort.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, perfect. This is amazing. And
Yeah, the
And so,
reason.
like-
Oh, go ahead.
and so for the foreseeable future, anytime a DM was like, I'm gonna kill your character, I'm gonna play Ritz. It was a threat.
It was absolutely a threat every single
time.
The fact
Just
that
because
the
of,
fact
like-
that it was
like,
a
so-
threat.
Yeah, like everyone had this impression of Ritz because of like the way that we sort of like joked how he would like actually play and like just act and such. Nothing like that anymore
Yeah.
at all.
He's pretty different now. Yeah.
I think
But-
he was for like one episode. What you want, like what you threatened us with, and then
I feel like this is
No.
50% of what Ritz was.
Yeah, this
supposed
Yeah.
to be.
even at his worst, this Ritz is like 50% as bad
Yeah.
as
He's not
like,
as bad.
like
Mhm.
He's not as bad at all.
old Ritz, the OG Ritz, like he screamed at people and called them racist all the time.
Yeah.
Like
I
And-
genuinely, Pulse was like, I actually really want to be Ritz for campaign 2. I remember he talked to me about that after, like, everyone had left voice call one night. It was just me and Pulse up still. And he's like,
I
I do
gotta
think I actually
confess.
really want to be Ritz for campaign 2. And my genuine response after 3 seconds of silence was, why?
He then that same night, you had that conversation. He messaged me. He's like, "I'm playing Ritz." I was like, "Oh no." He's like, "All right, you got soup ready?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why not?" Like, I'm not. I have already had my character ready. He's like, "But I'm playing Ritz. You need soup." I'm like, "I'm not playing soup."
Oh, so
which I
funny.
love
Oh,
has led
God.
to a scorned plot line of Pulse being upset that that Crow refused to
Something
play
happened to
Soup, so something happened to Soup.
There was an
That happened
incident.
to
We'll have to figure- we'll have to
Incident,
figure it
whatever that
out.
No, because for audience, the reason why we have the exact date is because that night we were just like, all right, we're gonna come up with these stupid ass characters, and I drew them on the spot. So we were talking about them while I was sketching them out. So I have the file, so I can go back and look at the properties. But I just remember drawing them. As also the first ever time I heard Pulse like pedal whistle laugh. It's just like the hardest I'd ever heard him laugh because we were just laughing at these stupid character designs. You're so good. Amazing.
It's interesting to think about though, because like the original was like base it off Voldemort,
Yeah.
act this certain way, but then as time like went on, I was like, I have to change a lot about them, and so I drew inspiration from Baldur's Gate. I won't say which one though, because if I do, it might reveal some shit.
Interesting. Okay. And then if we're going in
Downloading all the
order
Baldur's
of
Gate right now
order-
to learn all of Rick's backstory.
Pulse, I'm just gonna grab your head and download Ritz. Just
And then I guess next is Renava, if we're going in order of
Yeah.
oldness.
Yeah. Kay came to me one night and was like, I'm thinking about furbolgs and like they're super cool and I'm like, maybe I could play one for campaign 2 of Starlost. And I'm like, that's sick as fuck. I want to think about my campaign 2 Starlost character. I'm a bandwagoner, y'all.
No, that's what that means.
I mean,
Kind
yeah.
of is. So I started thinking about Renava pretty much in the same week that Kay started thinking about Bella. And I was like, I know I want to play caster. I think this new race of elf Shadar Kai looks pretty sick. Alright, Shadow Sorcerer, Shadar Kai. And in one of the shanties that we did for Seas, there was a question that was like, if you could play any character you would want right now, what class and race would they be? And I said Shadow Sorcerer, Shadar Kai. And I drew Renava before anything else, and she largely looks the same. A bunch of you guys could attest. It's just the fact that like her boots are different. And I came up with this concept of Renava, and I was like, okay, how do I make her story interesting? Because there's always a twist. And I thought about something. I was like, fuck yeah, this fucks. Cryo, come here. And it just went from there. And then every so often I'd pop into Cryo's DMs and I'd be like, here's this idea. Cool or nah? And Cryo oftentimes would be like, it's cool. And then it would be added.
We have been brain rotting about Runava for basically consistently since then. Every few weeks, Ray will just be like, Runava idea. We got to the point that like Ray had thought so much about Runava that for a home game that Kay DMs, Kay was like, Ray, you're not allowed to think about a campaign 2 character yet because I've seen what you've done with Runava and I need you to not. I need you to focus. I need you to
Yeah.
So funny.
But in terms of what inspired Renava, Pride from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, specifically Brotherhood.
My favorite character.
Arcane, Jinx specifically. And her vibe, her very, very initial vibe comes from this female Gojo cosplayer TikTok that I watched. It's one of my first favorited TikToks. And
So specific. I love it.
yeah. So, and she's hot. And it was over this like Makima voiceover, and I'm like, this is the vibe that I want to hit. And it just kind of transformed into what Renava is now. And so there's a bit of Gojo and Makima in there, but I think there's more Megumin from Jujutsu Kaisen now, but you know, the vibe. And somebody mentioned it, but Freerun. Like when Freerun came out and Kay and I watched it together, like I fucking love Freerun. So I was like, Let me put some free rent in this bitch. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Next in line would be Selic,
Aye.
which I am looking for the exact date of Selic.
When Selleck was made, I told Jess about him, and Jess drew him, and then went like head in her hand, just dang it. I was like, what? You're like, this character's so cool. Why are they not mine?
It's not mine. Yeah, Selic was made September 22nd, 2022, 1:55 a.m.
Yeah.
Notice the
so-
AMs.
So, for inspiration from like what I wanted from him was, I got to, and Noah had said it before, like in campaign, like, oh, Crow likes having intimidation characters, which I had intimidation on Hush, but it was that intimidation that was a byproduct from Rogue that made me want to, because there's a difference between having a high intimidation versus having an intimidation character. Because that's what Selic is. I never planned on Hush being this like crazy, scary, blah blah blah. It was just, oh, I get expertise, I'll take intimidation. It was just like it's an add-on to this. But Selic this is planned. Like I want this, and I wanted to play like this intimidation character because there's so much fun that can be had with that. In the realm of like fear and everything combined. So that's what Selic is my, like, I had fun with Hush for the 2 intimidation checks that I had him do. I'm gonna do this with this character, who has very much outpaced Hush with the amount of intimidation checks that he has made. But the actual like general like not intimidation, inspiration, wise, because I wanted something that I had never done before, which was make like a super serious character, because I just really don't do that. I like making silly guys. I like making like little stupid, or like they have their quirks, even if they're a bit more professional, they still have silly little things about them. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go out of my comfort zone. Maybe I'll make a serious character. And then, we know where that's going. He's still got silly programming into him. But the actual design, or at least the basis of it, was, I'm not kidding on this, Ben 10, specifically a Ben 10 villain named Acid Breath, who's just, yeah, his name's Acid Breath, and he just spews acid out of his mouth, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. He's just got this yeah, and then,
well, this guy,
yeah,
Oh.
him and Ripjaws, and I was like, oh, they're so cool. And I had like that inspiration, and then, oh god, there was one more. I always forget it because there was one more thing that stacked onto that. But I can't remember which character it is. There's another character that has a lot of Selic's similar Smoker. It's Smoker from One Piece, because his whole entire arsenal and entire like ability to fight and is always like his whole thing is just smoke, and I thought that was so cool. Like all of his attacks involve smoke. He's always on this, and I stand by this. It is super cool and such a cool character trait, and like they're so endearing when like a character is just like, it's like smoking a cigarette. You're like, yeah, but IRL that's gross. IRL is gross. When a fictional character does it, it's cool. When a IRL person does it, it's not. So I just was like, okay, plucking that, taking these aspects, and I'll wrap them into a little ball. And then the last little bit that put into this was actually K, because I had a stance that I was like, God, I don't like warlocks. Warlocks are so, because I had played one in a very scuffed D&D, and I just felt so limited. And I remember I went off. I was like, dude, I hate warlocks. Why do they only have this, and this? And then I got to CK like putting a warlock into action. And I was like, dude, no, warlocks are really cool. They're so customizable. And then 2024 warlocks came around. And I was like, they're even more customizable now. Yeah, I think it's about time that I full sent a warlock just to like prove my old self wrong and make something like so fun, because I love playing Selec. Yes, having 2 spell slots is whatever, but making up for it with the amount of abilities and things you can do and short rests. I'm gonna keep asking for short rests.
You're gonna short rest?
I just cut in real quick. I just remembered one big thing that inspired Bella's personality was that I had started hearing about other people's characters, and I knew that Ray was playing a super serious character, and then Crow was like, I heard Crow talking about how he's finally playing a serious character, and then I knew like my perception of Ritz was like an evil character, I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna suck, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna play a normal person. I'm just gonna be like a nice guy. I'm just like all these motherfuckers are so weird, and I'm just gonna be like the straight man. I just think it's so. But what has happened is that I was so normal that it ends up being.
You are now the odd man out.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch of
So
stuff that like
funny.
when we heard about the other characters, like things had to change, like because Selec was where are we in this? This is
Lonnie's
15?
episode.
Okay, cool. So it was revealed Selec's thing. Selec was supposed to be originally a Shadow Kai, and then I learned about like what's going on, and like there was a bunch of like overload. Everybody wanted to play Shadow Kai, and I was like, well, I don't want to, because I already had him designed. I was like, I don't want to change like things. I know what it is, because I already had the concept of like you can hide so many things in mist, you can hide so many things in smoke. You never know what's going on in there when your vision is obscured. So there's always something beyond that, and there's always something more. So him not being actually what he is just another little step on the unknown trope.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just loved this idea in my head, and I think it's literally happened like multiple times where it's like this person yelling, this person's yelling, this person having a thing, yada yada. Well, I respectfully disagree. Like that's just
So funny.
That's Bella.
Yeah. I will also cut in for a moment just to add to what inspired Selec, because obviously I drew him. And
My
Crow,
character.
yeah, Crow came to me with the Maw idea, but he went, you can kind of just go buck wild. Like, I don't really know what this is gonna look like. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like, you go crazy. I am a very big fan of drawing monsters and weird like horror and stuff, and the artist that inspired Selec's Ma, her name is Busagi. She does a lot of like body horror and stuff, and what I really like about her is she does a lot of like very anatomically accurate body horror. So it's like Selec's mouth was inspired by those like twisting muscles and like just a lot of teeth and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's what we're going with. And then again, I drew it and I was like, head in my hands, and Crow's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, this character's not mine. They're so cool. But yeah. And then I know you really wanted to play Selec for a really long time, but you're like, you've been wanting to play Selec for a long time, and you were like, if one of our home campaigns, like if Pierce ever dies, it's like I might play Selec. And then you were like, actually, I think that dynamic would not be good. Showing to that party. But yeah. So last but not least, that leaves Vane, who has a really big gap between
There's
Selec
a
and
significant
creation.
the more I think about it, the less of a significant gap there is, but by the time Vane became Vane, that is when there was a significant gap, because
Right.
Oh yeah, we talked about a concept way back.
way
Sorry.
back, basically when Runava was made, Ray was like, what do you think you're going to do for your campaign 2 character? And we chattered a little bit back and forth of how to potentially tie those 2 characters together, and then threw that whole fucking idea out. Threw the whole fucking thing away because Ray was like, actually, I don't want to play like... Originally, I think the idea was like I was going to feign as being Runava's patron. And
Other
be
way around.
I was gonna play like a new warlock, but I didn't really want to run warlock again. And then Tetheri became a thing. And so we just threw the whole idea out and we're like, all right, maybe campaign 3 we'll tie our characters together. And then just for a long time, Vayne just existed in this like vague concept. No name, no face, no nothing. And then Tetheri popped up and I was like, well, I'm really good at guinea pigging for cryo. I ask for homebrew all the time. I might as well just run the homebrew class. Plus I was excited because it's something new and makes my brain go burr. And even that was probably what, like, whenever Tetheri came up, that is when Vayne started to take form. But as far as Vayne being Vayne, still, I mean, it was probably the summer before, like, it was the summer we were ending campaign 1, really, that like Vayne took shape. The name is actually the thing that I'm most excited about and the thing that I can talk about now. And for those of you in the Discord, you saw me like change my name to it for a moment. It was because I saw a graffiti artist. Because like born and raised, I grew up in Atlanta. And one day I was coming back from a trip, taking a long ass drive, and on this bridge, I just see in big letters VAYNE, and I'm like, that's a cool idea for a name. And it's the main reason that I ended up giving Vayne like a spray can dagger. Because I was like, well, I want to at least pay homage to where I got this name from. And so yeah, sure enough, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna name the character Vayne. And then it was a long process. Cryo and I, working in Tetheri stuff and a lot of stuff that I still can't necessarily talk about. But the easiest way to put it is Vayne is extremely piecemealed and was made highly in isolation. Like everybody else kind of had their little like chit chats between each other. I like basically like put all of Vayne together and then went, huh. It's definitely a reflection of ego. Cause like I go like, what's the inspiration here? And I look back and I'm like, a lot of it is just compounding on myself, which makes the name even funnier. But I think the only thing that really stuck, and when I wanted Vayne to actually be closer to like a more tired out character, like a more like grizzled character. And then at one point I was talking with Ray again, once we had a better idea of like what characters would be like. And I was like, oh, like, you know, the way you vaguely talk to people towards like, oh, I think they could really get along with this. Cause I had built story elements, but still hadn't given him a name. Or anything. And at one point Ray had gone like, yeah, no, I was kind of thinking like some like Jujutsu Kaisen vibes for Runava, and I went, fuck. It clicked in my head at that moment. Vayne's just Gojo. Vayne is just an Australian Gojo. He's egotistical. He's smart. Don't get me wrong. He's got the mind, but that was where it kind of clicked. Where I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna create this person that like, it doesn't matter how serious it gets, really, he's still kind of just gonna be a dickhead. And the biggest thing when it came to making Vayne was I was like, I'm building secrets into this character. I'm building things that I can't talk about, and I'm going to build these things that I'm not used to being. I'm very, you know, Doc, Hickory, Socks, they're all very close to my personality. Vayne is still excitable, but largely doesn't act like I did. And so it's led to a very interesting trade-off now where often I'm talking with the crowd and I'm like, hey, I'm doing this thing, but like also this thing. And it's come down to where it's like a lot of my choices with Vayne have become very, very intentional because it's not natural for me to think like him.
I think that's really interesting because I think all of our characters are very different to how we normally are.
I would say campaign 1 we were all a lot closer.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You don't act the same. You asked me to kiss all of the time.
I do.
So much.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Crow.
Nope.
I was gonna say, like, I was thinking about when you were talking about like, yeah, Bella is so different from how I normally act. Well, because, you know, I'm an asshole in real life, but like I just there's so many moments while playing where I'm like something happens and I'm like, oh, I want to make fun of this character so bad, or oh man, I want to be an asshole, or I want to do some shit. I'm like, no, Bella wouldn't. She'd be nice and uplift them. And I'm like, ah. But also, just a side note, I'm so fucking mad that I've never made that goddamn connection. I've seen Vane graffiti everywhere, like my whole fucking life,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
never put that shit together.
Yeah, it was something to where I just saw it and I was like, this is the perfect thing for a name. And so yeah, I mean, it's the exact same. Yeah, I was like, you guys can look it up. Just look up Atlanta graffiti artist Vane. You'll see the artwork.
He's really famous. He sells his shit for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of things. So if for some godforsaken reason this graffiti artist ever sees Starlost Stormridden, shout outs to you.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Wow.
Very anonymous. Very anonymous, man.
Okay.
Fun, real quick fact that bears no weight on anything. Renava's INTJ Meyer-Briggs. Okay, continue.
Wow, INTJ. Oh, very close to me. Or no, not close to me. Sorry. What am I saying?
Not close.
Vane
What?
is V-A-Y-N-E,
I was gonna say I remembered what my letters
Myers-Briggs.
are. Never mind. I will actually be quick about this. You can Google Etalon's name and you'll figure out where that origin is, and that's it.
Oh shit,
Blue Bandit,
Blue.
thank you for the $10 super chat again.
Thanks.
So its name has meaning, but I don't want to reveal it.
I know it.
Wonder why.
But no, yeah, you can literally Google Etalon and it becomes so clear. It's like, oh, okay. But to tack on to the end of that as well, I think this will be our last one. But because everybody was asking about inspirations, Cookie asked, what was the inspiration behind William Black?
Oh,
There we go,
William
we got a
Black.
specific one.
Oh, this is funny. I actually just talked about this with Noah like yesterday. William Black, the name, actually comes from just word shifting Bill Scratch, which is an old name for an old legend for Mr. Scratch, which is the name of the devil. And so William Black talks about his name origins in some future sessions. So it'll make sense lore-wise why he's named that in universe. But me, I loved the idea of making a character who is really nice and really chill with the party, but is this utter mystery to them and himself, and has a name that reflects that. So I'm like, his whole shtick from the very get-go with William Black is that I wanted him to be just the most reasonable, nice person, but he is just the biggest threat possible. Because he doesn't know who he is, and he has the power of, like, a god. And whether he's actually good or bad or blah, 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 behind his amnesia, I will never reveal because it doesn't matter. He is who he is now. But also it would ruin the fun of William Black. What is he? What's his deal? So his entire shtick was just, I wanted a character that was super mysterious.
I want to give Cryo so many props because the amount of just ass backward references that are made with almost every character we've met thus far in Cloud Breach and probably beyond. I'm not gonna release any of them, but like the amount of conversation we've had to where I'm just like, is this a reference to this? And the crowd just goes, yeah.
Yeah, no. Compared to Campaign 1, Campaign 2, so many of the characters, especially commission characters, have names that are directly inspired by other myths or names or stuff. Great example that is really obvious if you listen to it for more than a second. Lance Elliott. He's Lancelot.
Oh my god, that never clicked.
Yeah, he's
That
Lancelot.
never clicked. Wow. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of them like that. I'm trying to like.
Today we very quickly learned as well that when we have all 6 of us here, we really need to make a bigger time block.
That's okay.
Is there any
Also-
quick questions we can end on for everyone?
Any little quick questions?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just-
remember seeing one that I liked. From from Naranila. I can't pronounce this one.
You got it.
One of the lilies.
Nyan.
Naranila. What is each character's favorite spell?
I'm not a caster.
I can't talk
know
about mine yet.
You get detect magic.
You used to detect magic so much.
I would say you use spells more than half of us.
That is not true. That is such a lie. There are two
But
wizards
if-
in this party.
Hang on, if
If
we
you
don't want
could,
to answer
Kat,
that one,
what's
there's
your
another
favorite-
one that's also.
What's your favorite spell to
funny.
see then? Maybe I don't know.
Favorite spell?
What's their favorite spell?
I guess detect magic.
Oh god, favorite spell.
I
Maybe this
think-
wasn't such a short answer.
I think for
Meteor
Renava's.
Swarm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
For Renava in the past, it would have been polymorph,
Oh, silly.
but but now it's shield.
Mm.
Oh, we were to kill.
And Presso. Because Presso is so useful.
Disintegrate.
See,
Disintegrate.
here's the thing. Disintegrate is my favorite
Nice.
spell. So I can't say that for my characters.
Vayne uses Presto a lot. I can't talk about the spell. I can't talk about the one that I want to say right now.
Next shanties.
Just like crush it, and maybe depending on how long.
I know what it would be. It would be catnap.
That's right, sleepy boy. Good night.
But
Sleepy
warlocks
boy.
don't get it.
Oh.
William Black likes create food and water.
Pulse,
Yeah,
what's
we get
Rich's favorite spell?
Is that meteor
I
swarm?
said Meteor Swarm.
Oh, you're real. Okay. That was
You're real.
Oh, real?
Actually, what am I talking about? It's invisibility. Easily.
Mm.
That's Ollie's
Meteor
favorite.
Swarm is such a wizard spell because wizards
It is.
conceptually are like, I want to channel my knowledge into controlling the world and manipulating reality. And what's more of a show of power than calling down meteors from the fucking heavens?
Time stop.
So good.
That's not a show of power. No one sees you do that.
Yeah, but I know.
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. I want one more question because
Okay.
I like this one. From Isle. Because we've already spoken about this one, so it's like this one also should be pretty fast. Bringing this question back from the dead, what Pokemon would each party member have? What would their partner Pokemon be?
Noah and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
Is my answer still
Renava-
consistent?
Renava, I first thought of it as Houndoom, but
Mm.
I think when I talked about it with Cryo after, Cryo brought up Mimikyu, and I feel like Mimikyu is very apt.
Mimikyu.
What did I tell you?
I don't fucking remember.
I think it was. It might have been Zorua. That would.
Oh yeah, probably.
I've changed my answer. I've concluded that Vayne's ideal Pokemon is if Type Null was doofier. Like if Type Null acted more like a dog.
And then you told me that, and I was like, okay, so Gladions.
Yeah, I processed that. Yeah. But yeah, the Type Null, I think, would actually be Vayne's ideal Pokemon. But Zorua is also just, it's got the same little shit energy that Vayne does.
Mhm.
There's only one answer. It's Gengar. Like it's Gen 1. It's the ghastly line. Literally goes from a ball of
You-
gas with mouth into like
Yeah.
Haunter, scaring Gengar, big mouth, ghost poison.
Mhm. You
Like-
also told me Shroodle.
Yeah. That's funny. Shroodle's cute.
Yeah, you just would hold him.
Yeah, poison type. Hold a little Shroodle.
Guy. Yeah.
He would love just having a little guy to hold. His little guy holds other little guys. Pulse.
Pulse guy.
Tropius.
Pulse is cooking.
Not
Manners.
Tropius.
So I think with him now, it would be Belly Bolt.
Oh,
Oh.
But like before, it would have been like Arceus or something.
yeah,
stupid.
God himself.
Arceus. I also would have Arceus actually.
God, I hate this question.
It would be Belly Bolt, and then he would polymorph Belly Bolt into a Hoot Hoot.
Yeah.
I hate this question because there's like every time it comes up, I'm never able to pick one, and people would be like, "It's Buffalo, it's a big cow, there's a lot of hair." It's
I
like,
was
that's
gonna say
if
that,
Bella was a Pokemon. Like that's not like a Pokemon she would have. Like
It's the most perfect Pokemon for her.
I think that what I ended up picking is Whimsicott.
Oh, that's
Bella
valid.
Whimsicott. Just a little happy little guy who's bouncing around. Just a little happy guy.
I think Bella would have loved having a Yamper.
Oh.
Yamper.
Yamper.
Probably. I don't know. I'm
Like,
not
I don't know if that would be
guy,
like
so I don't
her
really-
ideal Pokemon, but like if she existed in the Pokemon world, there would be a Yamper in the house.
Yeah, somewhere around.
Mm-hmm. Broth is just a shiny Lotad without the dish. Dang.
So a frog.
Froggish. Lotad has like 6 legs though.
Yeah,
that
some snakes.
Yamper that Bella has is just the Gunch.
No,
Nice.
Yamper Gunch is actually the most cursed thought.
Wait, what? Yamper's
Thug.
what?
I thought
cut first
the
name.
gun should just be gulping.
Oh, the Gunch.
I don't
Hold
like
on,
it.
I have more pick
I don't like it.
I don't like the Gunch anywhere. No Yamper.
No more
Fuck
Gunch.
Yamper. No more Gunch. No more Yamper.
We've got new freaks this campaign, okay? Like Rook, what's going on there? What's in the bag?
The Rook is
Nothing.
basically
It's
just an
clearly just
Impidimp.
smoke.
All right, friends. That though is probably where we're gonna cut it off. Thank you to everybody who
Oh.
joined in the chat. Thank you for everybody who stopped by, and thank you to all of you for answering the questions and for having a really sick campaign to answer the questions for.
Thanks for the donations.
Yes, thank you so much for the donations. We'll make sure to save questions from this because we definitely talked a lot on like a few of them, and we're like, oh, we should probably save some of these for the next time.
Yeah.
Captain sub on Kofi just to get the Gunch back. Oh
Ooh.
boy.
Ooh.
That's
The captain NPC is just
Ooh,
the
but that's not
request to
your
have the Gunch
NPC.
return.
My captain NPC is the Gunch bringer. He just shows up and drops off the Gunch.
Oh
My
gosh.
captain NPC is Alina.
Marcy, what does Starlost Company Pride mean? You asked
You
that
have
the
to
question,
have pride.
but what does that mean?
Pride.
What?
That's not a
Yeah, get
question.
right.
Optimum pride.
Optima Prido.
Gay, trans rights, I guess. Is that what they're asking about?
Yeah.
Pride? Yeah.
So true.
Or do you mean pride in the company? No.
We don't have a company.
Everybody here is definitely completely straight, guys. That's pride? Where?
That's why Crow and I kiss to prove how straight we are.
I will kiss anyone else to prove this. No, I won't. I have. Never mind. I bugged more.
Yeah, what the hell?
Hey, yo, how you
Yeah,
doing?
never
Just
Sorry,
out of this
sorry.
chat. Wait, just get
Okay,
out of here.
I'm
Someone
proven.
disconnect Jess from the call. Crow and I have to have a conversation.
Yeah,
But I think dude, if we're
But-
signing out, then I've got to rattle off all the extra things that we got going, and I have one little thing that I want to show off.
Buddy.
But let's start with all the fun little things. Hi, if you like us, it's actually right on screen right now. Go to Ko-fi. We've got a lot of really exciting things coming down the pipeline. Crowd just sent me something really fun that's coming to the Ko-fi this morning, which I'm super duper pumped about. You get episodes 1 week early, which is different than campaign 1, where it was only a couple of days. We've finally gotten ahead enough to where we can offer them a whole week early. We've also got raised notes, which will be coming out very soon, as well as NPC sheets, item sheets, basically everything that will hopefully maybe one day all get put together in one beautiful little module. You'll also get one shots as we write them and then decide that we want to put those out. You'll be getting our one shots. You could get one right now if you've ever seen Starlost Sins. You can go and play it yourself right now. It's written and ready for you whenever you want. You can also go to starlostdnd.com, which is not a card right now, and you can get merch like this, the Stormridden silhouette merch, which I really, really love.
Right there.
You could also get the pants. Yeah, you can go and get yourself some merch. It helps support the show. And also, maybe we've been thinking about crafting another little line. I've been bothering Jess so much about new ideas. And I think that's all of the things. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube if you need to see the episodes or want to hear the episodes without using YouTube. Go to Spotify or anywhere that you get your podcast platforms. But you can still view video on Spotify, which is super sick. And I think that's everything, except I did want to show off one little thing that I think I am ready to show off.
Oh my gosh.
We have been working on a project in the background to kind of help everybody enjoy Stormridden and keep up even when times get tough to do so. And so we are building recaps that are animated ? But we're super excited to be able to show, and so I want to show off the first minute. It'll still be a little bit before the proper one comes out. There's a lot of work left to be done. But yeah, let me just go ahead and get that set up, and then after that we will say our goodbyes.
Woo!
So sorry.
Well,
Pause this.
got
Grab
it all
this.
queued up and didn't even have it ready to go.
No, absolutely not.
Heartbreaking.
I'll
never trust you again.
Okay.
I
So yeah,
rolled
please
4.
enjoy the first minute or so of the first Starlost Stormridden recap.
Welcome to the world of Starloss, and welcome to the Enigmatic Exploration Committee. I'm Lance Elliott, and I'm here to get you all caught up on the strange adventures here in the Stormridden Far East. So buckle up. Our journey begins aboard a submarine underneath the Storm Wall, an ancient magical barrier that separates the world of Starloss. Aboard this submarine, 5 new heroes made their way to a new world. Selic and Vane, a pair of bounty hunters, had met just before the journey began and struck up a mysterious deal. Now, paired at the hip, they spent their time making as much gold as they could playing poker. It's during one such game that they met Ritz, a strange man calling himself an outer elf, who has the tendency to get pretty pissed over the little stuff. Down beneath them, helping the crew keep cargo tidy, was our 4th, Bella, a furbolg woman. The only thing bigger than her heart is her muscles, and the only thing stronger than her muscles is her commitment to making the best of a bad situation. Last but not least, sequestered away in her cabin was Runava, an elf who values nothing more than her privacy. These 5 were joined by hundreds of other passengers who arrived to the grand city of Cloudbreach. There, they and 25 others split off from the main group to come.
So yeah, that's it. That's it.
Cool as hell. Pulse went to hell while we
Pulse
were
went to
gone.
hell.
Yeah, Pulse
Pulse is in hell now. We sent Pulse to hell. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. We're super duper excited to release the recap. There's been a lot of work put into it. Ray has been working their absolute ass off in order to get me all of the assets. I've been doing my best to animate it and make sure those assets look good.
These 2, oh my god. It's so much work is put in. It looks so good. You guys aren't ready.
Wait, is Runava a sorcerer or a wizard?
She's a wizard.
Now.
Yeah.
She's a wizard. Period.
Well, no, I was confused. I was like, Why was this a question?
Because because Ray had said that Renava was gonna be a
shadow sorcerer.
shadow
So true.
sorcerer.
But anyway,
In the beginning.
thank you so much, everybody. We will see you real soon. And keep an eye out, I guess, at the end of this week for a new episode of Starlost Stormridden, episode 16.
Whoa.
Wow! Yippee!
Goodbye.
Bye.
17 if you're Kofi.